Pepper, come in. Come in. Last year there was a big storm and our front fence blew over. It wasn't really it was a poor excuse for a fence, and I knew that it was going to happen at some point, and I've been building a new fence for the last couple of months, a picket style fence, and I put up the first 4 sections of pickets a couple of weeks back, and I still have another 9 to go, and I used almost all the pickets that I'd made. So this was 1 large pallet. I have another 2 large pallets the same still to take apart, and I've got another, I don't know, 10 or 12 pieces of timber stacked up over there to make into these pickets. And it's slow progress. "36 pickets. So there's about 2 panels worth. I've got 9 panels to do, so the other 2 pallets are probably going to be split into again. So I'm still going to be a little bit short, but that's okay. I will collect more timber as I'm going. I'm going to have a cup of tea. So it's a few days before Christmas. This is the other small chopping serving board from Walnut, and another set of coasters which will be for my mother. I am going to clean this up, probably off camera, and then back at work trim it to size, because there is a really nice fine tooth bladed crosscut saw that does really nice cuts, much better than what I can do in here. And then I will clean this up, yeah, a couple of days before Christmas or whatever, oil it and get it ready to go. I can put that to one side for the time being. Just going to change the focus a little bit to something else that I've been building, that I've been wanting to make for a long time. And probably guessed it because I was doing some dimensions and stuff earlier, and I've done a lot of this work already in the workshop. I still need to deconstruct it a couple of times. It probably still needs to go back there again. It's going to be a little bit backwards and forwards. It's probably going to be a few weeks actually before it's completely finished, but you can see pretty much what it's going to look like. It is a jumbo sized guitar pedal board, and I've made a couple of small, not great pedal boards before, and the one metal board that I've got I've had for maybe, I don't know, more than 10 years, and it's done me well, but it's never really big enough, and kind of as a part of things changing in my musical projects, I want to go back to using a stereo guitar setup, which involves 2 amplifiers, one guitar through 2 amplifiers, multi-effects chain, and this is actually going to be one of 2 pedal boards for this, because it needs a primary board, which will be this, and it also needs an auxiliary board on the side, which is going to contain a bunch of other stuff. And I just thought it was time that I've got enough woodworking experience that I can make a pretty nice pedal board. And so it's mostly constructed of maple, which is what these bits are. That I've actually had this maple for a couple of years. It came from Guernsey Post, some old fire door linings, that when they were doing a bunch of work a couple of years ago, I took a bunch of wood that was going to get dumped, and some of that maple has ended up as guitar necks and other guitar related stuff, and I've had this maple for, like I say, a long time, because it's got things like screw holes and holes for hinges and all that other kind of stuff. It's not good to make guitar necks out of, because guitar necks need to be absolutely solid and constructed in a very specific way. But for this, it's okay. And yeah, I could have gone and bought some brand new wood to make it really nice and not have these holes and all this other stuff, but that's kind of besides the point. Is I like to reuse old timber. I think it's one of the best materials on the planet, actually. But that's something else. So anyway, this pedal board. So my current pedal board doesn't have a bottom, so which is this piece inside, which means that all of my cabling and my power supply and all that, it needs to be mounted to the underside of the main pedal platform area, which is a bit frustrating, because when I'm working on it, I need to lift up the pedal board and move it and do all this kind of stuff, and things fall off and whatever. It's not great. So I've made this specifically in a way that I can fit a power strip in here with all my plug sockets. All my power supplies and everything can be in here, and obviously all of my cabling and my routing and all the stuff can be in here underneath the top shelf. So this is the top shelf, and I've got these slits for the cables and everything to come in and out of and all that cool stuff. It's going to be on hinges so that I can open it and close it, and I think I might need to put some gas struts in to hold it open. So there's that. Next little detail I'm going to do is on the sides, I'm going to do a little input patch bay there. So instead of plugging my guitar cable into the pedal, it's going to go into a little port in here, which I think just makes it look really neat and a bit posh really. And the same on the other side where the outputs are going to be. I'm going to have a bigger panel that's going to have all of my ins and outs and my effects loop switching, and where my power cable is going to be to power the entire board. My hope is that I could turn up at a gig, put this pedal board down, plug in my 4 cables into my amplifiers, and plug in one kettle lead into there, and everything's powered in and everything's done and nice and cool. And also my intention is that I'm going to build a flight case for this that's going to be obviously carryable, but with a handle and wheels, so that, because already it's probably 5 or 6 kilos in weight, and it's going to be a lot heavier once all the pedals are mounted on and all that kind of stuff. And another reason for this is my current pedal board that I've had for about 10 years. The bag has essentially, the case is a padded bag, whatever, is essentially disintegrated, and it's just no good. So I'm going to go back to building a flight case out of probably 6mm ply or whatever, and do all the latches and all that kind of thing for this to sit in. And then the auxiliary board, which is actually going to be flat, is going to be essentially the lid of a flight case, so both of those are fully protected in transit and all that kind of stuff. I don't really have to do all that stuff, but I just think it's cool, and I've never built any of that kind of thing before, so yeah, we're going to go ahead and build that. I guess I can kind of do some work on it now. I said a little something earlier about my carpentry skills now being good enough that I thought that I could construct something like this, and this is probably a good example because of the kind of joinery that I've done. I could have just about done this with a router and the jigs, because this is no different than routing a truss rod with a groove, and this rebate here I could have also done on the router, but what I have done is I have tenoned the front and the back so that it fits inside of there, so that it's square and it can't move, with clamping pressure from the screws either side. I've rebated the top so that the platform can have a secure, stable place to sit on that's also square and dead flat, and then I've put a groove in for the bottom panel along here so that it's secured in, kind of like what you've got in a drawer. And then with this brace support in the middle, screwed in this way and from the bottom up, it means that I don't need to have any bracing on the bottom, which is cool. I like it.
Overall, I really like this, and I know what some of you will be thinking, and I kind of think it too, but here's my reason that I don't, is yes, one, I could do with the drill press in time. It's not a priority. Yes, imagine if everything was perfectly central and super nice and machined and lovely, but I'm still using reclaimed timber. I'm still doing this mostly by hand, and I like the fact that not everything on it is perfect. It really feels like it gives it an older style handmade quality to it, and I like that. I think that's cool. So this is one side, patch bay, and in here will be, inside the box, will be connected to a cable, and that cable will have a socket on it that will go straight into the first pedal in the chain. I think that's turned out pretty cool. Anyway, I'm going to end the video here in a moment. Thank you very much for watching. It's a bit cold at the moment. Hopefully in the next video I'll be doing a bit more work on the pedal board, but it is Christmas in a couple of days and the parts that I've ordered are not going to turn up before Christmas. No chance. By the time you watch this, it will already have been Christmas, because I am going to be recording these 1 week late to give myself enough editing time after the week is finished before I upload the following week, to basically give myself the leeway that I really feel that I need if I actually want to do this kind of video every week, which I do want to, but some weeks it's just really difficult. So giving me a week's grace hopefully will be enough that I can just constantly maintain putting videos out. Hopefully we'll crack on again with this in the next video. I would like to try and do a bit more fence work soon as well, but the weather has been a bit nasty, so all the pickets are just standing up there in the corner, and I still need to take apart another 2 huge pallets. In January I want to move on to the next phase of Arran Place renovations, and that is to do, well, to renovate the 3rd bedroom, which is going to be known as the guitar room, which is going to be like a little studio, and you've got a bunch of work to do in there, so I'd like to incorporate some of that into these weekly videos,
as well. So thank you very much. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, maybe please subscribe, do whatever you want, but more importantly, thank you for sticking around. See ya.